We are going to start things off with a tribe of Survivor contestants, and an iconic player like Courtney Yates 100% deserves a spot on this list. Put it on paper, lock it in, Courtney 100% needs to come back to Fiji. It's a complete travesty that she was given such little screen time in Survivor Heroes vs Villains. In dream casting, the perfect Survivor vs Big Brother season needs a sassy player like Courtney at the forefront of the home team. Today we are casting what I consider the perfect Survivor vs Big Brother season would look like. The only problem is that I've actually never watched Big Brother in my life. Not to worry, I'm being joined today by Big Brother content creator Ethanimale to draft this cast. Simple in concept but really difficult in execution. Make sure to watch the video until the very end and rate the cast we've put together. Before we get started, every week during Survivor 42, I'll be giving away Survivor buffs for free. Yes, that's right, free. If you like free things or you're a Survivor superfan, you should 100% subscribe to the channel right now, as we're slowly closing in on 2,000 subscribers.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Ethanimale, and I am super pumped to be collabing on this video idea. I love Survivor, I love Big Brother, and I love coming up with Dreamcast. So when Russell Muscle invited me to do this video, I couldn't say yes fast enough. If you like Big Brother, consider subscribing to me for weekly videos. At the number 19 spot, I have Britney Haynes. Quite possibly the funniest woman to ever play Big Brother, Britney Haynes would be a perfect fit for Survivor. She's a phenomenal player, arguably coming close to winning on 2 separate occasions. She has the physical game to provide value to her tribe, and also has the social and strategic chops to put herself into a really good position. Also, having been on The Amazing Race, Britney has that type of reality TV experience that many others wouldn't, and combine all of this with her being literally the best confessionalist of all time, she would be a huge draw to have for this type of season.
This could be pretty bad. I mean, she's HOH, and I definitely don't want to be on her bad side.
At the number 20 spot, I already had Courtney Yates, and coming in just below her at the number 18 spot, we have Donathan Hurley. For starters, Donathan was one of the only characters from Survivor Ghost Island that the producers decided to give any interesting screen time to. But the main reason I'm including him on this list is cause the dude is a major Big Brother fan. He recently tweeted, "I know everything is rumor mill, but if this ever happens and they don't call me, I'll be pressed for life. No bigger BB fan as a Survivor player." I am pretty confident in saying Donathan might be the most realistic player on this list if Survivor vs Big Brother ever happens.
At the number 17 spot, I have David Alexander. Now, yes, this pick may seem like it's out of left field. The first boot on his first season, and then arguably one of the worst players on his All-Star season. Why would I pick David? Because he's unintentionally funny as hell. Having someone like David adds so much to the dynamic of this tribe. He's got a very strong body, yet has never won a competition, or really even come close. He has shown some seriously smart strategic thoughts and has the ability to very convincingly fake cry on demand, yet when he puts a plan into action, it always seems to fail miserably. David brings a lot of what the heckness that would really balance the Big Brother tribe out, and I would love to have him on this cast.
At the number 16 spot, and the third Survivor player on the list, we have Kim Spradlin. Kim's Survivor resume really speaks for itself. She really went into Survivor One World underestimated for being a bridal shop owner, but any thoughts of undermining Kim quickly disappeared after we witnessed her dominate the game strategically, socially, and as most people tend to forget, physically. Kim is one of 3 winners I've included here on the Survivors tribe, and it's for good reason. For starters, if you take a step back and look at her winners at War Game, I think she'll come back with something to prove. But on top of that, a simple Google search of Kim Spradlin Big Brother highlights so many past Big Brother players that she can be compared to. Rachel and Derek are all Big Brother players that have been compared to Kim Spradlin.
It's shifting and moving, but right now I think it's about the threats versus the non-threats.
Coming in at the number 15 spot, I have Candice Stewart. If you want someone to have a second shot at a game like this, not many deserve it more than Candice. Not afraid to speak her mind and stand up for herself, Candice might find much more solace on the island than she did in the Big Brother house. A truly nice individual who wasn't given a fair shot. She still showed that she was a fighter in the face of adversity by being a target yet surviving throughout the first 5 rounds of her Big Brother season. Candice would without a doubt be my dark horse pick for someone who could successfully sneak her way to a win.
The next Survivor player on this list is going to be Jay Starrett from Millennials vs Gen X. When you think of the overall vibe the season is trying to build, I think Jay fits that mold perfectly. This dude will always be someone fun to watch as he swings for the fences, but 7 times out of 10 he'll strike out and fall flat on his face. If you can't fully remember Millennials vs Gen X, let me remind you that Jay voted incorrectly 7 times while going to Tribal Council 10 times. After Jay's appearance on Survivor, he has since competed on the challenge on 2 separate occasions, and fun fact, he also used to date Big Brother over-the-top winner Morgan Willett.
At the number 13 spot, I have James Ryan. The problem with throwing in old school players is that they're, well, old now. This doesn't seem to apply to James Ryan though. The OG Veto King, this physical villain looks like he's in even better shape almost 20 years after his first season. He's still got the same snarky charm that made him such a fan favorite so long ago, and he would definitely be a huge asset to his tribe if he can keep his overall sarcasm down to a minimum. He is probably one of the most realistic old school picks that we could snag for a season like this, and I can't imagine anybody being disappointed seeing the Veto King give it one last go round.
Number 12 and the 5th Survivor contestant on our list is going to be two-time Survivor player, one-time Survivor winner Michelle Fitzgerald. For starters, she holds the title of being the only player in Survivor history to play multiple seasons and never be voted out of the game. In my opinion, Michelle is the gold standard to look at when it comes to the ultimate social player. Sure, she has a little bit of physical strength worked in being the only winner of the Fitz Tower Challenge, but the social element of the game is where she really shines. Michelle is one of those players that I can see playing Survivor again and realistically making it to the end of the game, or at least very deep into the game every time she plays.
That's it.
That is it. Michelle wins individual immunity.
Coming in at the number 11 spot, we have Meg Malley. One thing I find that we don't see too often on Survivor is the bubblegum New York gal, which, let me tell you, is an extremely fun archetype to have. Meg wasn't necessarily the best game player, but her social game was very good, and with a few tweaks to her game, she could make a really deep run under the guise of being alliance fodder. And, oh yeah, you may have heard of her husband. What was his name? Oh, right, Mike Holloway. So with that sort of X-Factor training from her husband that nobody else would get, Meg is a solid wild card that I'd love to watch on this cast.
We are officially crossing the halfway point of our Survivor versus Big Brother cast, and there is no better player suitable to play this game on the Survivor's tribe than Hayden Moss. Winner of Big Brother 12 and contestant on Survivor Blood vs. Water, I think Hayden is a must-have on a season like this. No shade intended, but unlike the other Big Brother player that appeared on Survivor, Hayden has actually proven to have a great mind for both games. Obviously, winning Big Brother, we decide to place him on the Survivor tribe as he still has something to prove on the Survivor side of things, coming just a bad rock away from possibly being crowned the sole Survivor.
Big Brother, I mean, it is Survivor in a house. So as far as training or preparation, I'm going to be more prepared than anybody else that hasn't already played this game.
Now, at the number 9 spot, I've got Josh Martinez. For those that are unfamiliar with Big Brother, think about if Abby Maria Gomez ended up winning Survivor Philippines. That's basically Josh. He's loud, he's abrasive, and he's not afraid to stand up to whomever. The entertainment value brought by Josh is legitimately unmatched in terms of drama. And although he isn't a top tier player by any means, he is a winner, and his social game has grown to much more impressive levels through his time on the challenge and could be a legitimate underdog type of threat. Being the only winner on his tribe may make him an early threat, but it's not like Josh wasn't standing out regardless, and he's also one of my favorite players, so come on, I had to put him on here.
Number 8, joining the Survivor's tribe is Lauren Ashley Beck. Going into picking the cast for this season, I wanted a couple people with a large social media presence. I was looking for who were the people's champions, who are the people that have turned their reality TV experience into something more. And the first people that come to mind is Jay and Lauren Ashley Beck. I mean, Lauren basically made Survivor popular on TikTok with her Survivor Secret series, helping her reach over 420,000 followers. Lauren will hopefully return to Survivor at some point, and with the connection she has built with the entire reality TV family, I think this season would be the perfect fit.
At number 7, I have Caitlyn Herman. Probably the player that I am most surprised hasn't played more than once. Caitlyn Herman is arguably the most one-of-a-kind player that Big Brother has had in a long time. She was the reason that the pre-jury phase of Big Brother 20 is the greatest of all time. She can win comps, except puzzles, isn't afraid to fully backstab and blindside her alliance on a whim, and as a character is one of the most entertaining we have ever seen. She brings much-needed chaos to the tribe, and if you throw an idol her way, sit back and grab the popcorn, because it will produce entertainment beyond anything you could imagine.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your time in the Big Brother house is officially over.
Number 6, we have Xander Hastings. I promise the only new era, drop the 4 and leave the 1 player we'll be seeing on this list. But I think Xander, or more specifically Xander's archetype, would be fun in a season like this. Survivor fans are used to seeing the Jungle Boy archetype that is maybe strong in challenges, but then not much else to offer. Xander showed us there's more to it than just being a challenge threat. And if we wait a couple more years for him to mature a little bit, I think he would be a huge threat to win.
Oh my god, to have this moment and like this challenge, I've dreamed of so many nights since it's aired. Like, this is made for me.
At the number 5 spot, I have Tyler Crispin. Tyler is without a doubt one of the best Big Brother players of all time. After seeing what he's done in his 2 seasons, I can confidently say that he is arguably the second best social player of all time. He's one of a handful of players to win double-digit competitions throughout their career, and he has the strategic ability to secretly take control of any group of players. Even with him basically giving up in All-Stars 2, he still finished in 6th and very well may have taken the win had his heart been in the game the whole time. Combine all of this with him being an avid fan of Survivor, Tyler is without a doubt probably the favorite to take the win on the Big Brother tribe if he puts his all into the game.
The last female Survivor player on our list is a bit out of left field with Chelsea Walker. Okay, I know what you're thinking. A lot of you are probably even trying to remember who Chelsea is, and the rest of you that do remember are probably going right to the comments and yelling about how you can think of tons of better picks. Like always, take a deep breath and hear me out. Every All-Star season has 1 or 2 head-scratching picks, and before finally getting her chance on Survivor, she would audition for Big Brother to try and get her foot in the door with the casting department. Also, I'm gonna be honest, I have a bit of a bias here, as she has helped me a little bit with my casting videos in the past.
At the number 3 spot, I have Danielle Reyes. This is the player I've wanted to see on Survivor more than any other player. One of the faces of the early age of Big Brother, nobody would play the game harder than Danielle Reyes. She's one of the greatest to never win, plays the game with no fear, and will stab you in the back before you even come close to seeing it coming. She's ruthless but respectful, and if she can get in with a few key players on her tribe, which I think she would be able to, then she would be a real threat to everyone come the late game. Even though it's been close to 20 years since we've last seen her, she seems to be the same Danielle Reyes we know and love, and she is without a doubt the number 1 female player I'd want to see play from Big Brother.
Number 2, the last Survivor player on this list is going to be Earl Cole. Now, I just want to note that I made this list before all the questionable Survivor NFT stuff came out, so I'm not going to comment on his life outside of the game, but Earl is someone I really think needs to come back and play Survivor. I mean, he almost got a chance to play Survivor Winners at War. It's crazy to think that Earl is now 50 years old, so he adds some much needed age and wisdom to his tribe. It would be great to see Earl come full circle after winning his season without ever watching Survivor into coming into a season that is a battle between 2 different reality shows.
And now coming in at the number 1 spot, I have Derek X. Talk about all-star material. This guy went from being the undisputed target week 1 of his season to basically the top free agent and the person everyone wanted to work with just 2 weeks later, and he did all of that without even watching the show before playing the game. He's a physical threat hidden behind a skinny frame, has an incredible social aura that just draws people in, and has the adaptability that is vital to being a great Survivor player. Out of the entire cast, there is not a single person on the Big Brother tribe that I would feel better about making it to the merge and beyond. Derek X is always welcome back onto my screen, and Survivor I feel would be a much better fit for him. He easily lands at my number 1 spot.
Make sure to comment down below if you agree with our list, and make sure to subscribe to Ethanimale for great content. I will link his channel down in the description. If you enjoyed this Dreamcast, then click right here for the Heroes vs. Villains 2 Dreamcast.